Chapter 16. Misty, Viviana, Kalik, Liana, Valestra, and Lloyd appeared on top of the ridge. Below them stood the well of mana. A path led to the island where the well sat upon. "I'm glad you all can make it," a familiar voice said. They turned to see Meldrin, sword out and covered in dry blood. Misty ran to hug him. "Meldrin, are you all right?" "I'm fine, but Lazarus is not. He was taken away by Makora, and who knows what she's planning on doing with him. She also killed my father, and burned his kingdom. We shouldn't waste any more time. Makora has already began preparations, and another airship arrived moments ago. They brought her some weapon," Meldrin explained. "The Spear of Vesthir. If she intends to use the power in that to summon him, it would make sense as to why she didn't siphon any magic from me," Valestra said. "Let's go. We have no time for talking," Meldrin stated. They ran down the path to reach the island. As they closed in, they saw the cultists and other witches. They saw the bodies from the torture room in a mass pile, and there, standing near the summoning circle, was Makora holding Lazarus's hand. Meldrin stopped. Within moments of arriving, they felt the cold embrace of the shadows. "Lazarus!" he shouted, all eyes fixated on them now. Makora smiled. "I was wondering when you all would show up." "Makora, stop this now. Zarmanoth does not need to be born into our world. He will cause nothing but destruction," Valestra yelled. "So, you've been restored. Pitiful. Do you not see, Valestra? Zarmanoth will change our world. He will make our world flourish. He will be the ruler." Lazarus stepped forward. "Misty, Meldrin, it's okay. I'm going to bring the world peace when Zarmanoth is summoned. We all will be at peace, humans and orcs. No more war, no more fighting. We will be under one rule, and we will stay that way." Valestra shot a glance at Makora. "So, that's your plan. How could you brainwash a boy and sacrifice him to Zarmanoth?" "You know better, Makora. Zarmanoth will not rule this world. You will only make us slaves to him." "Do you not see, sister? This was all part of the plan. Grimdall's fall, Misty rescuing you. Even the demons were all part of this plan, to summon Zarmanoth to our world. He will rule." Valestra shook her head. "What do you plan to do when Zarmanoth throws you away? He is using you just to summon him here. You should know this by now." Makora laughed. "Using me? No, sister. I am using him. When he rains down upon this world, his power shall be mine. And when he wakes his brothers, I will siphon all their power and make it mine. I will be what the Corvellian were supposed to be, powerful and magical. They gave us the magic. Now I will restore them." "This isn't the right way, Makora." "Mistress, it is time," a cultist said. Makora shifted away from them. "Let's go, Lazarus." He turned back to Makora. "Lazarus, no, don't go with her. She's lying to you," Meldrin said. "When I become the savior of our world, I will sit upon the throne with Zarmanoth. We will achieve peace together," Lazarus replied while walking away. "Damn it!" Meldrin whispered. Makora had her cultists around the mana well, casting spells into it. Lazarus stepped inside the ocean blue waters. "Lazarus, no, please." What would Dad say?" Meldrin shouted. Lazarus looked Meldrin in the eyes. "I've already received Dad's approval." Makora cast a shadow beam upon Lazarus. He began to levitate. The circle twisted in on itself, pulling the dead bodies into it, along with the cultists who willingly jumped in. Noth in law, ore minare. Rise, Zarmanoth, Zeminor Aktul, be ushered into this world. A heavy burst of magic expanded outward from the summoning circle. Misty and the others fell to the ground as if a force clung to them. Misty mustered up the strength to send a firebolt at Makora. It flew through the air, only to consume a cultist who jumped in the way. "Bring me the spear!" A cultist gave Makora the weapon. "Now drink, Zarmanoth. Drink from the well of mana." She slammed the weapon into the bottom of the well near Lazarus. The blue waters turned black with corruption. A divine dome was cast over Misty and the others. They were able to regain their strength back. "Stand up and fight," a voice echoed. They turned to see Marvin, Valrak, and Lexion. Valrak had his hammer raised, with holy energy emitting from it. Lloyd glanced at Meldrin and held out a sword. "Let's go." Meldrin grinned and linked his blade with Lloyd's. The two charged, slashing down cultists with the swing of their swords. The witches stepped forward, casting black balls of energy. It sizzled with lightning as it flew through the air. Lloyd and Meldrin dodged the attack. Viviana supported the two with her vines. She ripped them from the ground and entangled anyone who was near. Misty and Valesra formed firebolts, sending a barrage of them at the witches. They created a force field to stop the attack. Kalik knocked an arrow and fired, impaling the cultist through the skull. She fired another that hit a cultist in the throat. As his body fell to the ground, the arrow pushed through the back. Liana rose and cast Holy Lance. A circle appeared around a group of cultists and instantly were impaled by holy empowered lances. Valrak, Lexion, and Marvin ran down to aid them. Valrak swung his hammer, knocking cultists off the edge. Lexion drove his spear through several cultists. The witches blasted shadow bolts at Viviana and Kalik. Viviana stumbled off balance and fell to the ground. Kalik somersaulted to dodge the attacks. Misty formed icicles and shot them forward, impaling the witches. They then jumped into the abyss with their last breath. A wave of ice expanded outward, freezing everyone in place. Meldrin looked upon the ritual to see Lazarus's eyes burning black and fog of purple easing from his mouth. "Lazarus!" Valrak broke free from his ice and charged Makora. She sidestepped him and drove a dagger through his back, piercing his holy energy. His body was paralyzed, and he lied there motionless. "Enough of this nonsense! Zarmanoth will be born!" Makora slammed her foot on the ground, causing an earthquake, but Marvin quickly shot his hand, stopping the tremor. A ball of shadow formed at the summoning like a portal. Fog and mist escaped from it. A blast of energy emerged from the summoning circle. High winds and rocks flew through the air, slamming into Liana, Lexion, and Kalik. Valesra hung on the edge with only one hand, while Lloyd went forward into the abyss. Meldrin charged. "Makora!" His sword ready to strike. He jumped and swung down, only for her to block the blade and catch him by the throat. He struggled to break free as she pulled out a dagger. Makora leaned in close. "You've lost," she whispered, while driving the dagger through him. She twisted it and stabbed him through his heart before dropping his body to the ground. Misty's world went in slow motion as she saw Meldrin's body crash to the ground. He looked up at Lazarus, reaching out his hand with the little strength he had, before fully being silent. You killed him," Misty said. "You killed Meldrin." "Look around you, Misty. You've lost. Your friends cling to their lives while Zarmanoth is here. The great ancient protector is gone, and you can't do anything. You lost, Misty. Give it up." Misty glanced around to see everyone in their weak state, except for Marvin, who stood behind her. Valesra struggled to maintain her balance off the edge. Misty's eyes burned purple. "You will pay for this." Misty levitated and shot her hands forward. Fire and ice swirled together, heading for Makora. She dodged the incoming barrage. Misty danced her hands all around, creating bolts of lightning that seared through the sky, striking down near Makora. She could only laugh, and launched a shadow beam that consumed Misty, knocking her from the sky. Makora focused back on the beast, trying to strengthen him. Misty pushed herself to her feet, watching Makora as she was distracted. Valestra stood, casting a wave of ice upon the ground. Misty noticed that her mother was paying no mind to her. Makora froze in place. Misty reached for a speed potion and drank it. Grabbing the daggers that she carried from Vindros, Misty ran. Makora was the one for all this. The world at war, the fall of Grimdall, the severing soul of Valestra, and now the awakening of the Dark God, Zarmanoff. It was all Makora. Makora of the Grand Council, Makora of the Scarlet Rose, Misty's so-called mother. Rage burned in her heart now as she closed in on her target. She couldn't let Makora get away. Countless times she slipped through her fingers, but now this was Misty's chance to end the one thing that started everything. Misty thrust her hands forward, feeling the blade slid in with ease. In that moment, it felt like everything became still and silent. She glanced up to see the warm blood coat through Makora's robes, and to see Makora cock her head at her own daughter. The fear that struck as she saw Misty surge through her body. Misty ripped the daggers out and aimed again at her front, stabbing the daggers through her stomach and one through her chest, near her heart. Misty pulled the daggers from her and watched Makora fall to her knees, staring at the blonde girl who stood before her, daggers dripping with blood, a cold face that washed over Misty, her daughter. Misty fell with her, catching the body as it fell forward. Makora placed her lips by Misty's ears, whispering the faintest of words. "This isn't over. This is only the beginning." Blood escaped her mouth. She smiled, looking at her daughter. "Your friend will become the greatest present to you." Makora's body disintegrated into black smoke. Misty's eyes widened, remembering the same thing that happened to the orcs. What? What was that? A loud roar echoed through the aisles. Suddenly the earth rumbled again. Appearing before them was a tall figure, taller than most towers. It had long arms with sharp, long claws. 3 limbs ripped from its back with long, yellow, leathery wings. Its face had sharp, blood-stained teeth with soulless black eyes. The ground shook beneath their feet as tendrils of shadow ripped through the ground like roots of a tree. They entangled Zarmanoff, forcing him to the ground, concealing him with tendrils. He bellowed one last time, firing a beam of energy through the air. It rumbled the world, causing shifts within the elemental plane. The land torn asunder, shattering borders and opening cities sealed off to the world. The elements themselves roared with Zarmanoff, causing volcanoes to erupt, waves of the oceans to reach towns and villages, flooding them, trembling the earth, creating sinkholes and reshaping the land. The harsh winds sending down tornadoes, demolishing cities within seconds. "My fury is here. You all will perish in the name of Zarmanoff." The tendrils wrapped around him as if creating a thick, hard skin. Before it enclosed him completely, he grabbed Lazarus and dragged him inside. "You come with me." A leathery substance concealed him away. It pulsed like a heartbeat. It looked like an egg. A yellow, leathery egg. Everything became calm. The ground heated, melting the ice. The wind subdued. The elemental roars went silent. The sound of a beating heart was all that echoed through the aisles of Korhal. Misty collapsed to the ground. "Dear Crossus, as of now, you are the only person I can write to. I was too late seeing what happened with Makora and Zarmanoff, but a giant egg now sits in the well of mana on the Isles of Korhal. Misty, a young sorceress, and her allies fought hard to bring down the beast, but it looks like as if now he sits in stasis. The ancient protector of Valestra was with them, and she witnessed what happened. Also, King Anderm's pure heart is no more, and the Divine Confederation has no true ruler. A battle between the orcs and humans took place. It ended with wounded soldiers and dead ones. I convinced them to stop fighting, but truthfully I believe it was too late. I do not know what our world holds for us anymore, since the Dark God has ruptured a cataclysm. We now wait. There are too many things to do, but I must wait until everyone wakes. Sincerely, Gorte. He placed the quill pen on the table and turned to Artorius. You did all you could, friend, Artorius said. I know, I just wish it was. A knock sounded at the door. The two turned to see Misty standing in the doorway. How do you feel? Lost, she replied. Gather the others. I need to show you something. Misty did just that, gathering her friends who fought with her, Kalik, Viviana, Liana, Lexion, Valrak, and Marvin. They followed Gorte outside where they met Valesra. I just want to say this. I am deeply sorry for the loss of Meldrin and Lazarus. As for Lloyd, he seems to be in a terrible state, but hopefully we can break that haze and set him free from Zarmanoth's grasp. As for Zarmanoth, they followed Gorte to the outskirts of the village to see the well of mana and the giant egg that pulsed on it. Black veins bulged from the yellow egg. Zarmanoth and Makora have caused severe damage to our world, and it may take years until we recover. But in reality, that is the least of our worries. However, Gorte paused, that egg is the biggest concern we have right now. We don't know what it will do within the coming years, but it means that we need to be on our guard. Everyone's eyes focused on the horizon, across the horizon to the egg. So what do we do now? Misty asked. Gorte looked at her, all eyes focused on him. Now we become stronger. We rally our allies, and we make peace with the people we fought against. The Divine Confederation and the Orcs must ally with one another to fight against this darkness. Gorte paused and looked at the egg. Now we wait. And when the egg hatches, we shall be ready. And that is it. That is the end of chapter 16 and the end of the Scarlet Rose. So what did you guys think? What are your thoughts about it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Know that there is a book 2 that will be coming soon. I haven't started planning it out yet. I'm kind of iffy on the details because I might change it a little. Because I wanted it to be about hell and its demons, but I might be changing that depending. But I'm excited for it, and I hope you guys were excited hearing my story. I really want to know what you guys think. But yeah, there is a lot to deal with, and hopefully book 2, once I get it done, and if you all are interested, I will read that one as well. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. As of that, I might read some other stories, like past stories, but that depends, because I don't know how well they are, and I probably would have to edit them because I have many stories. But the reason why, like, this is the first book that I've written from, I wrote one last year that I liked, but then when I started editing it, I really didn't like it anymore. I felt like I kind of like simpled it out, and I took the easy way out with some things, and I didn't like that. As before that, I think it was like 2017 or 2018, I completed another story, and that one was good, but I forgot why I disliked that one. I started writing book 2, I remember that, and then I kind of like, it fell short. But yeah, so this is a book that I actually enjoy. Now, what you listened to, I should say, is kind of the rough draft of it. I did edit words and kind of sentences that made sense. To be very honest with you, I rewrote like half the story while I was reading this. Now, what I mean by that is, like, I took some chapters out, I put some chapters in, but this might not be the final product of the story. So if once I actually sit down and edit it and fix it up, because there are a few things that reading it out loud actually helped me realize like this story is interesting. And with that, I forgot how I did it. Well, I know how I did it, but I for some reason I clicked on Google Translate and I put my story into Google Translate, and you'll obviously you can hear how it's pronounced and whatnot, like words. But what I did was I took sections of my story and the computer read it, like, and that actually helped me because I can listen in on like words that are misspelled or how things are and stuff. So that helped me a lot. And actually, I just don't know how it just happened. Really, I accidentally clicked on Google Translate and then like posted my thing into the bar, and then it read it. There, you can have 500 letters, I believe, or 5,000 letters. So I had to do like few sections at a time, but it definitely helped me kind of edit the story to where I can read it. Hopefully that if I keep doing this, I get better and better at it. I know this is like the first time I'm actually doing this with a full book that I'm like putting out there. So it might be changing. If it does change, maybe I'll read it again, and then we can compare the differences. There is stuff that I think I want differently, but I'm gonna wait for that for a while. But other than that, that's really all I have to say. I really appreciate the support and everyone that has commented, everyone that has been supportive. I really appreciate that. Thank you all for stopping by, just listening to it. I know it can be dreadful with how long it is and sometimes how I mess up words or mess up sentences. So I really appreciate you all sticking around for it. So thank you all. And with that, I think I'm going to wrap up. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. If you remember to like and subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. Remember to be the best you can be, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.